Welcome to another episode of the Uzi Podcast. And my guest today is Eric Prush, owner of private gym and strength and performance gym Relentless here in Long Island. Welcome to the show, bud.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Uzi. Good to be
All
here,
right,
brother.
man. So Eric was also having a little conversation before we're going. Former powerlifter, brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
That's correct.
Big dude, shooting the shit a little bit, good numbers. Actually, from not being a professional, knows some mutual people in the powerlifting world. We were talking about some steroids, talking about stuff, just to brush on some topics. So we're just going to talk about a whole bunch of shit, powerlifting world, training, and just pretty much is probably going to veer into its natural organic state and steroids and what the good ones are and mention some other ones.
Absolutely. Let's do it,
So
brother.
Eric, all right, man. So powerlifting we were talking about, right?
That's right.
So how long were you powerlifting for?
So we're saying strictly just competing for powerlifting.
Yeah.
Because I was big into, I never wanted to be one of those guys that just looked good. For me, it was like I wanted to have function and look good. Part of me always wanted to be not pretty, but scary. You know, I wanted to be the dude in the back of the gym because I'm 37. At that point in time, there were still scary dudes in commercial gyms. You know, it wasn't like it is now where it's people videotaping themselves and it's like a total shit show. I walked in and I wanted to be the dude in the loose t-shirt that still looked scary with the big forearms, with the straps, moving heavy shit. That was the guy I aspired to be. And so I didn't look at body part splits. I wanted to be fucking strong. And after getting into martial arts, using strength training as a means of kicking other dudes' asses, doing reasonably well in jiu-jitsu when I first started, always get the half compliment you get in grappling. Wow, you're really strong, which means like I can't beat you, but you're not that technical. Yeah. And yeah, that's how it is, man.
Yeah, right.
First did jiu-jitsu for about 3 years. I had some injuries, a broken arm, got my ear ripped off, and then decided to get a job in the fitness industry. Started working with a guy. He had a powerlifting team, and at the time I wasn't that strong. And he was like, "Why don't you just do a meet?" Trained for a meet, and I started getting closer and closer to being that scary guy, that I always wanted to be. And that's it, man. I was hooked. And everything I do in life, for better or for worse, and I know you can relate to me on this, is I do it 1,000%.
Yeah.
Or I don't do it at all. So
Obsessive in one direction.
within a year, 3-4 meets in the first year, and we're just going. And
it's funny. There was a few things in my life you've just become very obsessed with, right? And I don't have many things, but the avenues I chose, I become overly, and that's a good and negative trait, meaning it just consumes your mind. That's all you fucking think of, and other important things you kind of put to the side.
Yes.
But it makes you win at that goal of what you want.
Yeah, of course.
So when I was younger, real young, it was about being good at baseball. And I became the best at baseball. And then I wanted, and I wasn't really jacked. I was naturally muscular, and how that came about with me lifting weights. When I used to wrestle in middle school, my father has really good genetics. So I was born with like somewhat of a naturally skinny Bruce Lee body, and I was wrestling in middle school. And I remember I would just do push-ups and stuff, right? And it was 7th grade, and it was right after winter. I was hot. I took off the singlet. Right? And I had abs and like a little chest, and I saw all the girls look at me. I'm like, oh, I like this.
You're hooked.
I started doing a little lifting weights, and then my dad bought me my first Joe Weider set. And just to say how strong my dad is, right? Or was when he was younger. Joe Weider set was about 130, 140 pound bar. The small fucking standard bar. And he took it out of the back of the truck and he just started curling it. Strong guy.
Yeah.
He drove a gasoline truck, manual labor, hooking up fucking hoses and stuff.
Old dude, manual labor strength.
Exactly.
For sure.
And he had abs. He was fucking ripped. And all he ate, from what I remember, is fucking Italian bread, olives, peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and cereal. I don't even know if he ate protein.
It's the power of genetics, though.
You know
right?
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you were saying also, see, Eric's a little younger than me, so he kind of is in that crossover generation from the old school meathead to the new school, whatever's going on in the gym now. But he was around the powerlifting gyms, more of a hardcore atmosphere. But he brought back a memory of mine with the scary dudes in the gym, right? So the first gym I ever went to was the Ultimate Gym. And anybody in Long Island or in this local area knows the Ultimate Gym. It was in a little alley. It was the first gym I ever went to. And I started going when I was really young, like 13 years old, right? Became obsessed with lifting weights. I wasn't even allowed in the gym. My dad had to sign a waiver and shit. I'd ride my bike to the gym. And the first memories I have of going there was the gym was all fucking men. There was no treadmills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was one of those gyms. It was hardcore gym. And this dude, Jesse, who used to go there, he was a construction worker, and he was fucking, I remember, huge, bro, right? He wore a ripped sweatshirt. He had this gray ponytail at the back of his hat, and I just remember him repping 405 on the incline. You don't ever see that anymore.
That's freakish.
But that was like kind of normal in that gym.
Yeah.
You know, when I would go and I lift weights, and I remember this guy, it was Steve or James Tracy, right? He lived around the block from me, really good looking, huge, fucking like model Marine. And he was actually the one who taught me how to bench and split body parts and shit. And I was this little kid around all these fucking mutants lifting weights, you know, but the hardcore days is what I remember. That doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's a shame too. It's a
Yeah,
real
it
shame.
is.
I had a similar gym in Franklin Square called Hard to Hold. And unfortunately went out of business, but you had dudes bringing their own barbells in.
Yeah.
That's how the dedicated the lifters were. They coming out with safety squat bars, like bringing it out of their fucking pickup trucks, then bringing it back in. They had a record board in there. And that was a big thing for me too. Like, I want to be on that board. I don't care what gym it is. Like,
cool.
I want Prush on that board for something. And
That's
that was
cool.
always a goal. When I trained at a gym, when I would go to a seminar at someone else's gym, that we were lifting heavy, hey, can I get on your fucking board? I always wanted that. Yeah.
What made you overall stop powerlifting?
Man, I think the drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah, I loved competing. I still miss it. I think I liked competing in powerlifting more than I liked jiu-jitsu. I loved that feeling of, there's something really powerful about, because jiu-jitsu is more endurance-based in the sense of the match is going to be longer. And so you have to take a different mentality. I loved the intensity of, I trained 12 weeks for 3 seconds.
That's crazy, right?
There's a power to it. You get up there and you get to your third attempt. That's going to be your PR. I've got 3 seconds to make every fucking sacrifice that I just made worthwhile. And I loved the mentality. I loved getting ready for it. I was never like a violent dude before, not doing anything stupid, but I go to that fucking dark place and you get to the point where, this is going to sound silly unless you've done it, and you've done it. You're ready to fucking die.
Yeah.
It never even occurred to me that I would get injured because I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's
Remember
600 on the bar.
I used to
Hold your breath, get down there and get up. And I loved it. I honestly still miss it. There are times when I think about going back to it, if I'm being honest with you. But frankly, the drug use in the sport was so out of control. And it still is. It's worse than when I was in it. And at the time, I had started dating my wife. She and I had known each other from middle school. So it's easy when you meet a woman, especially if you're on drugs, to be like, she's crazy, it's not my fault. But I knew that wasn't the case. I knew her family, known her for 15 years or whatever before we ever started dating. And, every time we went to do a meet, it was test and tren and an oral. And when you're around the whole room of guys that are on tren, my whole training crew, 6 to 8 dudes, we'd almost always do the same meets. So we'd all jump on tren at the same time, 6 to 8 weeks out of the competition. That craziness just becomes normal. You're eating dinner together, you're going out together. I left my old job, which I had my own training crew, started training solo, and I'm doing the same thing. Probably not training as heavy because I have no spotters, so I'm doing things a little bit different, but I'm still seeing results. I start getting really paranoid. I'm getting ready for a meet. I think my girl's gonna cheat on me. What the fuck did you mean by that? What the hell is going on? And I just opened a business, so now I've got customers coming in, and I'm dealing with people that have never even been in a gym. It was a different kind of clientele than I was used to training at my old spot. And suddenly I'm like, I don't know if I can make our relationship work. And at the time I was like 260, 265. I would cut to make the 242 weight class. And I started to realize if I wanted to be great, 2,000 pound total level great, I'd have to compete at probably 275, which means I'd have to probably weigh 305 and make that 30 pound cut.
The amount of food and drugs.
And I just started taking a look at it and I'm like, I can't make this happen. And I went to the doctor around this time. I thought I had Lyme disease. I remember telling a friend about this. I was 28 years old. My family all went hiking. And a couple of the women got Lyme disease because they're out in the woods wearing flip-flops. It's so stupid. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think I have it, but I had all the symptoms. So I go to the doctor, and my doctor's like, you're 28. Your blood pressure is 165 over 100.
No, that's high, bro.
And I'm like, yeah, I got to start making some changes here. And it was the physical stuff, but really it was the mental stuff, the way that it was affecting my relationship. And I took a year. I told myself I'd take a year off and get healthy, right? First of all, get healthy, maybe lose some weight, maybe clean bulk some of the weight back on. I just couldn't see myself putting that shit back on my system again. Yeah. And I'm not going to do it just for fun.
Didn't want to.
I wanted to win
anymore.
We would wait for the powerlifting list to come out every single year. I wanted to be one of the top deadlifters in the country. And for a time I was. And if I wasn't going to be on that list, why am I doing it?
Right. When you're young, you don't really think about the side effects that steroids can have
even
on your
close.
body in the future. And you know, these younger guys out there, they don't understand. And I didn't understand this. What your lipid profile is, what could be affecting your cholesterol levels and your endocrine system, your prostate. When you're younger, your body can heal and rebound, as you know, the human body does very easily, so to speak. And when you're younger, it can recover much faster. You know, but they don't. You eat, and I didn't think about this. The dosage I took for like bodybuilding back then, dude, I couldn't even believe the things I used to do. It wasn't even. I didn't even do that crazy amounts, but it was too high indefinitely.
I can relate to that. I was never. I mean, I have no problem sharing numbers. I can remember vaguely what I would take for competition, and I think that the numbers were insane by my standards now. But I'm not going to name names, but I know what top guys have taken.
Yeah.
And I know what I took was nothing compared to that. And when I started getting in some of those inner circles, guys would, no, you got to double the dose of this. What are you doing? You got to add in another compound here. It was like, I'm not making enough money. I'm not making any money, frankly, doing this, which is the other thing.
You know, it's funny you just brought that up. So I was about to ask you this, and I was going to bring it up. In your opinion, right? So and I just watched a podcast with Derek Moore, Plates More Dates, and there is statistical data now that shows the ratios of gain to side effects. And I'd never had any statistical data. I just knew the results, the side effects that I got, and I knew that this number was the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So for me, it was always when I did 500 milligrams of test, I got the most amount of gain, the least amount of side effects. Once I started to cross over, then I got more bloated, I lost more hair, etc. And it wasn't that much more of a gain. Right, I've done 1,000 milligrams for an extended period of time. I was super bloated. Yeah. I was super strong, probably from the water and the test or whatever. Yeah. But I looked better and felt better at 500.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So now they have statistical data that shows the amounts of how it doesn't yield the same or even, you know, the beneficial results as in terms of ratios as you go up with the milligrams. You know. Yeah. So it's funny, before we were talking, everyone hears about tren, the most popular drug, androgenic, psychological effects. And Eric brought up a drug, Halo. Never hear people talk about Halo.
Probably for good reason.
Halotestin, fluoxymesterone. So back in the day, we used to call them the home wreckers, right? People didn't realize. So when the first time I had my experience with it, right? Back then it was all legit pharmaceutical. I used to get these little mini Upjohn bottles, right? Brown, little mini, cute, almost look like a toy. With these little mini, I think they were either white or pink, 5 milligram pills. Dude, I took 2 of those motherfuckers, right? What it did, and I was doing a show when I was a kid that I would never ever do again. What it did to my body, or for 2 tabs in 2 days, I went, holy fuck. I didn't do it long enough to see the psychological effects. So it was only 2 weeks, but how fast it worked on me was insane. And if people do not know, you want to look at the statistical scientific data, it's more androgenic than trenbolone.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I used it for one competition, and I would say by accident, it was pound for pound the strongest I ever was. And it's funny. You got to be careful when you talk about stuff like this, because it's like almost like you don't want to talk people into doing it, because there's going to be some people that are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do it anyway. And listen, I get that, but I give you an idea. That was the first time I was putting something in my body where I was like, oh, this is really toxic. Because I remember we weren't even going to take it. Long story short, we obviously acquired the gear. A guy made a mistake, and he's like, I'll make it right. I'll throw you 200 Halotestin or something like that. So we split it up, me and a couple of my training partners. We'd always take tests. We would take tren, we would add an oral in, you know, usually about 4 weeks out.
You would take tren and Halo together?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would not recommend it. And then we can get into why we did it.
That's a straitjacket.
It's totally insane. Crazy. Yeah. And I remember I couldn't eat. It was like my body was telling me, like, you were poisoning yourself.
Poisoning.
Like we would go train every Monday night. We'd squat heavy. We'd all go to a restaurant together and just peg the fuck out, right? Lifting for 2 hours, bunch of hooligans. I would order a steak. I would eat half of it. I would look at it and be like, I know I need to eat this.
You should be ravenous.
And I cannot get this down.
Your body was shutting.
I kept losing weight, getting absolutely shredded. And I had one of my best meat performances ever, like pound for pound. I was crazy strong, okay?
You shouldn't be getting stronger either.
No way, which is insane. You think about you're losing. I lost probably 10, 12 pounds in a meat prep.
Wow.
And it wasn't water, you know?
That could be catastrophic.
So I knew that it was doing something, but it really helped my deadlift. It helped my squat, hurt my bench, because bench, whenever I lost weight, it went down immediately. I needed to cut that weight, put it right back on, or else I was not going to bench.
Yeah.
I needed to bench. But I remember me and the other 2 dudes that were taking it, we'd be up all night. We'd be watching like Rambo at like 3 o'clock in the morning on a fucking Tuesday. No, it would be insane. We had a system where you would get such crazy sweats always from the tren, but definitely from the Halo, where I would wake up having sweat through my clothes, having sweat through sheets, everything.
That's from Trent.
Rip it off, throw it on the floor. I would always have a sleep bag ready. I had a system. Sleeping bag, wake up 2 hours later, haven't sweat through that, throw that on the floor, another sleeping bag, 6 hours of sleep, maybe, if you're lucky, because probably had sleep apnea. I had a 21-inch neck at the time. Wash all that, next night do it again.
Did you ever have a drug called, this is like a body composition drug, but the guys back in the 90s used to take it. I actually never took it. It was DNP.
Scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me.
It's for cosmetic reasons.
Never
only
took
people
it.
who do not know, for younger people, dinitrophenol is.
Could kill you.
It's a chemical, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was discovered or was first used by the gold miners, right? And it was either to pack the dynamite or was it in the dynamite?
I think it was in the dynamite, but I could be wrong.
So from handling the dynamite, the miners back then, they were losing an extreme amount of weight and getting sick, and they didn't know why. It was from the chemicals in it. Anyway, point of making these crazy fucking bodybuilders what they would do, because it is amino acid and protein sparing, and it burns fat and glycogen, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so guys would take X amount of milligrams and fucking just their body temperature go through the ceiling, and you reminded me, and why I brought it up, is the sweating that I would hear guys talk about. They would sweat out yellow on sheets. I'm like, yo, you're willing to do that? Point is, young guys don't think about the shit that they do.
Of course not, yeah.
It's fucking totally insane.
Yeah.
To get shredded.
The DMP,
You could
obviously,
die from it, correct?
100%.
Like totally disintegrate.
So what scares me about DMP, and it wasn't ever aligned with my goals, but make no mistake, when I was in that state of mind, if something was aligned with my goals, I would have taken it. I'm not going to sit here and judge someone who does it. I knew that if you overdosed on it, it increases your core temperature ridiculously high. So you basically feel like you have a fever constantly. This is not something that's rolling off the pharmacy. So if a pill is misdosed, you could just die.
That's something. It's not like an underground steroid.
No.
If someone misdoses a steroid, it's either weak or too strong. No big deal.
Worse, maybe you get an infection, which is not good. You got to treat it correctly.
You fucking die.
100%.
So what you got to also be careful of. I'm just gonna talk about this in totally different avenue. Not totally different avenue, but underground drugs, right? Microdosing. Not microdose. Yeah, like what the fuck am I? Not milligram, microgram dosing. All right. What people don't know, a microgram is the head of a fucking pin.
Yeah.
All right. So how I've experienced with this, I bought off the fucking internet some T3 to get shredded, right? And it was a liquid one. Right, so they can't measure fucking microgram. That's a real medicinal fucking measurement thing, And I was taking a low dose, like 25 micrograms, dude. I had to be taking like 500.
Yeah.
I started I was getting nauseous. I was eating, and I was losing weight. I go, yo, this isn't right. I've taken like the real one before.
Yeah.
And then when I look at all the side effects of overdosing, Cytomel T3. Levothyronine, this was happening to me. So I'm like, who knows how many microgram? Point is, you got to be careful.
Of course.
With certain drugs, like microgram measured drugs or something like that could kill you. You got to be really careful for the young guys out there.
It's funny you bring up the underground lab stuff. I think part of us being in between generations, like I really dealt with a lot of that shit because I think the previous generation there's a lot of farmer grade stuff out there.
It was all farmer grade when I was a kid. There was no such thing as underground.
Yeah. And gear was more expensive back then, but it was way better quality. When I was coming up, that's when you could you could literally Western Union some dude in Moldova, or Thailand, something, and then you just get a fucking package shipped to your house. And you definitely notice, because one of my first experiences with test was pharma grade ampules. And they were amazing.
Yep.
And then I remember getting the underground shit, because you're an idiot, you look at the prices, you're like, oh, this is $30 a bottle if I get X amount, and we can split there.
Right.
And you're just not getting the same results. And your part of you is thinking, oh, my androgen receptors must be saturated. No,
it's a weak drug.
The shit's
but
fake.
now who knows what kind of fucking bacterial levels are in there?
Absolutely,
dirty house.
dude.
You don't know.
Absolutely.
Fucking some asshole whipping it up or some shit, Back in the day, though, you bring this up. My first experience with steroids was it was in the 90s, it was the pharmaceutical shit, right? And there used to be, I don't even know if you know these, you might. They were Russian sustenance. They used to come out in these pop-out blister packs in thin paper. And it was a paper label, and it looked like it said tomato on it, but it must have said sustenance in Russian, right? But really thin, cheap glass. But, dude, I remember my brother's friends back in the day. You take one of those fucking things, bro. They were dude, the shit was retarded. I would take one of those and put 20 pounds on. One a week. And then real D-ball, 2 a day. And I was fucking jacked.
No.
Today, you can never get drugs like that.
No.
The shit was real strong.
The real wake-up call for me was when I finally got on testosterone replacement, because I was on the stuff for so long. There was just no way I could live a high quality of life, without some level of replacement drugs. And I wasn't looking to take steroids anymore in that capacity, because I just was really concerned about my health. You become a parent and you just don't want to deal with that type of shit. And I get on TRT and the doctor gives me 200. And Vinny, it felt like I was on fucking cycle again. Because the quality was obviously so much better. And you have this moment where you're like, what the fuck was I putting in my body the past couple of years? Like 200.
Real test.
Felt like 750 of underground.
Right.
And you start to think,
tons of fucking oil that was
who the hell knows
totally
what you're taking?
Fucking,
yeah, it was unbelievable.
You didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, reverting back to what you were saying about lifting weights and love, and you went into the whole jiu-jitsu. I love boxing. I genuinely love it, like as much as lifting weights, But something about lifting weights is this, right? And I love boxing, and I picked it up a little bit later. But like when you correlate, like, okay, you said nothing's like lifting. I love lifting weights. That's still like my number one, right? But you always correlate, like, even like when you're a caveman, the biggest, strongest alpha male of the crew or the tribe was the guy who could pick up the biggest fucking rock.
It's true.
You understand what I mean? The power and the fucking anger and pigging. When you have huge traps, it's just imposing. You know what I'm saying? It's never not cool to be fucking jacked. You know what I'm saying? And someone years ago, my friend's father was a professional bodybuilder. He said, being jacked is like the only sport you wear your trophy with you all the time.
Yeah, that's true. No,
You know what I mean?
I felt that way, dude.
You
When I had
always have
traps
your
up to my
trophy.
ears, it was like you command a certain respect when you walk into a room and you don't even fucking know it sometimes. It's just like, that's what I miss the most about it, But again, I wouldn't want to take the health risks. I miss having that presence, and I really miss that moment right before you test your max. Because like I said, endurance sports, it's very different. It's about going somewhere else for a long period of time, and it's a different mentality. I just loved that 12 weeks for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And that ability to channel that level of intensity. And frankly, it hurt me though when I got back into grappling, because it's such an extreme expenditure of energy that you have to learn to kind of calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? But it's really is a drug. Like at my gym every summer we call a summer max out. So I have my clients train for like an in-house powerlifting meet, and I'll usually jump in on the deadlift because there's no spotters needed at that point in time, so I can kind of train with them. Every time we do it, dude, it's like I'm high for 3 weeks. I'm like, I got to do it again. I want to pull 800. I have these goals.
Let me
I
ask
got
you
to,
this, can you still pull with 100% effort with no fear of blowing something out?
I can go there. You know what I mean? I don't think I could do it. I couldn't bench that way anymore. I've had enough shoulder issues from jiu-jitsu. I was always having longer arms. I wasn't built to bench. So I was always concerned about pec tears.
You don't have the body to bench.
Not at all.
You have
Not
the
at
body to
all.
pull, squat.
And being in powerlifting, you see more blown pecs than you do blown lats.
I know.
So I was around a lot of exploded pecs at competition
That's
or in the
very,
practice
very
room.
common.
And it's just like, fuck. So I couldn't, there's no way I could bench with like a reckless abandon. I could still do it with the deadlift, but I'm kind of half bullshitting you though, because nowadays I'm not going heavier than 600.
Yeah.
It's something, yeah, in my mind, I've done this weight. I've done it for sets of 5 in the past, or sets of 6 or 8. So like, okay, whatever, it's 600. You put 750 on the bar, which I couldn't do now, but even if I trained for it, maybe some thoughts will creep into my head. A thing that actually scares me the most about deadlifting is because of jiu-jitsu, I have a plate in my right arm. I injured my arm in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I can't get my arm totally straight. So, and this is my underhand, my right hand is my underhand. And my training partners would yell at me forever, Prush, straighten out your fucking arm.
When you pull.
Yeah.
You can pop your bicep.
Yeah, and like, so now when I pull with straps. It's just like, I know doing this, it's just a matter of time before it's going to go.
I've always pulled double over because I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah. I tried to switch to hook grip in the middle of my powerlifting career, and I was like too strong to learn it. Like my thumbs were just, that's something you do from the beginning. Honestly.
See, it's funny. I learned some from you. You know, obviously, way more about powerlifting technique and how to get stronger in certain ranges, whatever. I just power bodybuild. So I just said the first 5 minutes of our conversation where I felt the strongest when I deadlift, my weakest area is off the floor.
Yeah.
You know, and then once I'm like, not even like, dude, I don't even have to be halfway up the shin, just a little bit off, and boom, I could explode up. But it's that initial off the floor, and you knew right away, where it was like my hole was and I'm strong in a certain area. See, like I said, back in the day, we just used to just lift fucking heavy. And the reason why I asked you that question, and I love lifting heavy, the high you get from pulling or pushing or whatever, where, dude, I used to lift back in the day, like, I didn't even know if I was going to get up with it or not. And the best feeling is, because I guess it's the drugs and the food and you're big, all of a sudden you're just getting in a flow and you're pumping and pumping. And dude, I remember getting under the bar going, I don't even know if I'm going to do this for one. All of a sudden you're like, "Argh," and pushing to that point of where like, dude, you're pushing with every ounce of something, but I've blown stuff apart very often and it scares me to do that. So I'll only push now like at 70%.
Okay.
I would just do reps just because I've blown stuff apart because, you know, you get into it, I go a little heavier.
Yeah.
Let me put another 20 pounds on.
Yeah.
That felt good. Let me put another 20. And then all of a sudden you get hurt. You blow a hamstring out.
It's not worth it.
Or you pop something. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I'm fucked up for fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know? So, yeah, that's why I don't do it as like that, as hard anymore.
Oh, dude, I don't blame you. I mean, another lift, I would say, I don't really squat anymore. I'll do Zerchers. If I'm just training for size, I'm on machines all day because I'm built to deadlift, man. I've got long femurs, which means when I'm in that bottom position of a squat, man, I'm hunched over. You know, my squat is all posterior chain. You know, I would love to have those Olympic lifter teardrop quads, that Tom Platz long torso,
that way.
short. Yeah, but when I'm in the bottom of a squat, at some point, it's my lower back and glutes that are going to lock that son of a bitch out. And I think that's where I had some injuries too. I used to get really bad bicep tendonitis squatting with a straight bar. And I would usually not squat with the straight bar until maybe 4 or 6 weeks out of competition. And if I didn't get ART done on my bicep tendons once or twice a week.
But why would the bar? Because the way you would hold the bar?
Yeah, I've also bad T-spine mobility. So tough time really wedging your elbows under the bar. You know, when you're not built to squat, you start squatting low bar. And that's just going to fuck you up. You know, it's just a matter of time. And I think in retrospect, that's why I struggled with my bench because my hands would be numb from the bicep tendonitis. So,
wow, really?
Yeah, if I could do it again, I would probably not squat with the straight bar until literally 3 weeks out of the meet and just let it ride.
Let me ask you this. So reverting back to the drugs we were talking about with dosage and how much of a gain in numbers, right? So I said it was 500 and I only tried like super high dosages just because me and my wife thought it was a good idea. It did not agree with me. After 3 weeks, like abort mission, I went up to like 2,000, 2,500. You hear these pros doing it. You know, this when I was in the bodybuilding.
Crazy, man.
And I started getting rashes and the side effects were way worse than anything that I possibly was gaining. So I was like, that was a bad idea. So the highest for my number where I saw would be 1,000, but I would never even do that again.
Okay.
It was always like 5, maybe 600. Now for you were in a different. You powerlifted and strength, whatever. Did you see that much of an increase with the numbers as you went up from 500 to 750 to 1,000?
Yeah. And I think the reason is, I think that's the reason why doses are so out of control in powerlifting, is the water retention does make you stronger.
It does. People say, not to cut you off, right? Everyone has this spin on Instagram. Like, what's this? Now it's this thing with you don't have to get fucking fat to gain strength and size and, you know, lean mass, a little calories over. But no, when you lift heavy weights, you build bigger muscles. What makes you build bigger muscles when you're big and puffy and you're watery. And listen, like I said, I have experience with some of powerlifting because I was very big and puffy. I was 230 pounds at one point.
Okay. How tall are you even?
Barely 5'8".
That's big.
You know, so I was big.
Yeah.
I was big. I'm like, some people who saw me when I was still bigger, when I slimmed down, they thought I got sick. That's how big, I swear.
I know that.
And I was still like 200 pounds. Like, dude, they're like, what happened? My face got skin. But dude, I used to fucking be like, but like kind of in shape. I was never fat. I was just big and bloated like a powerlifter. But I know when I was fucking big and puffy, dude, I was strong for my size.
Yeah.
You know, I did not, you know, I could easily press fucking shoulder press with hundreds. I couldn't, dude. I picked these up and hand clients. I'm like, I can't even fucking believe I used to press these things over my head.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, point of like, in your opinion, that's bullshit, that clean bulk shit.
I think, obviously, you don't want to eat like shit. Because if we're taking gear, our cholesterol is going to be fucked.
Now, we didn't care back then.
Yeah. So, obviously, if you could put the weight on cleanly, you should. But what you run into is, ultimately, I'm a guy with a naturally fast metabolism. For me to get over 260, there's no way I'm getting there with grilled chicken and rice, bro.
No
That's
way,
not a
bro.
thing.
And I was like that too.
Yeah. And so, of course, you've got one effect coming from the gear, fucking with your heart. And I wasn't exactly I was never eating McDonald's all day, but if I had to, I would. You know, it was there. There was no question about it. You know, I would dump oils on my prepped
I heard
meals.
of that, dude. That's crazy.
And, you know.
Who was it? Was his, J.M. Blakely, right? Is that?
Yep.
And he was talking about his diet for fucking, and I'm actually going to say what it was.
Oil on pizza.
Oil. So this is what it was. He was telling us to do this. This was the diet. Correct me if I'm wrong. You probably know what I'm talking about. It was fast food breakfast sandwiches, like 4 of them, right? With mayo packets on it, right? Then in between was candy bars.
Yes.
Okay. Lunch was a pizza with olive oil dumped on it and something else with it. I can't remember. Maybe Taco Bell. Candy bars again. And then, or that might have been dinner. Lunch was Chinese food and shit.
Yes. Yes.
Dinner was a whole pizza, oil, and something else.
Yep.
I was like, holy fuck.
It's a little bit different though, Vin, in terms of geared lifting versus raw lifting, because in geared lifting, you're wearing a suit. You want the suit to fit as tightly as possible. And so those guys would go really overboard with the sodium intake and everything.
To get fit the tightest suit?
Yeah. So in raw, you're just wearing a belt. And so the belt is easier to adjust. If you're wearing, I never competed in equipped and I would never do it. But you're literally going to a seamstress to get this thing fitted for your meet. And so you can't, in the middle of the cycle, like you're going to miss a workout or something, you're going to have to go and get this shit redone or whatever. So these guys would do.
That's why they do it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah. So the more tension that you get out of this, the more the material bends, the more rebound you get. So like JM was from a West Side guy, trained with Dave Tate and that crew.
Yeah.
They were all training equipped at the time. Now, don't get me wrong. I was always very big into sodium loading because I would cut down from 260 to make the 242 weight class. I knew if I didn't get my weight back up, my bench was going to be shit. Deadlift would probably be okay.
I just knew after Chinese food, I was always my strongest.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Dude, yeah,
after
100%.
fucking Chinese food, I'm like, damn, I'm going to be strong tomorrow.
But I think that's why you're going to start to see a lot more powerlifting-related deaths, unfortunately, because
strokes.
Yeah, and and I think it's probably already happening. It's just that there are less famous powerlifters compared to famous bodybuilders, because nobody wants to look like a powerlifter. Generally speaking, you want to look like a bodybuilder.
There's only few that find it really cool. People like to walk around and look good more than like I like them.
100%.
Like, wow, dude, like what's his name? Dave Hoff.
Yeah, I've met Dave.
3,000 total for those.
I was there.
Most people like bodybuilding. I like powerlifting too. I follow some of it. 3,000, even with that's retarded. He would do what was this squat? I remember I was watching a video
At that meet. I spotted him on that squat.
Dude, so people don't know. Something sick, right? Yeah. People don't know that the amount of power they put out in one rep, dude, they have an oxygen tank after.
Yeah. All right, so
he goes, I get scared after, like he's going to die. Yeah. That's how much fucking they put into a lift. Imagine having 1,200 pounds on your shoulders.
We spotted and loaded that meet. That was the West Side Pro Invitational. We did it 2 years in a row. I back spotted all of the squats for those competitions. We had 5 guys total, 2 each side, 1 guy running the monolift. Funny story about that. To your point, Vinny is not he's not lying about guys passing out. There was a lifter at one of these meets. I don't remember his name, and I don't mean to disparage him because it's one of the most, frankly, fucking hilarious things I've ever seen. 220 lifter, conventional puller, and he was pulling somewhere in the 8s with equipment on, but still, that's an insane thing.
It's insane.
So I was back spotting him because lifters fall sometimes leaning back, right? So his coach comes up to me. He's like, Eric, listen, when he starts pulling heavy, he passes out every single time. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he passes out every single time. So what I need you to do, after he puts the bar down, because you're powerlifting, you pick it up and you wait for the down command. Put the bar down. He's like, you got to be behind him. He's going to fall over. I'm like, you're full of shit. Lo and behold, first attempt, stands up, puts it down, unconscious. I grab him.
How much did he weigh?
Maybe 240.
Big enough.
Yeah, big enough. I drag him over, hand him to his coaches.
No way.
They drag him off of the stage. There was a ramp leading up to the stage. Break an ammonia capsule, wake him up. He wakes up. Did I get it? Yeah. All right, let's go up again. All right, second attempt.
Did I get it?
Comes up, same shit, picks up the weight, puts it down, passes out. I catch him, hand him to the coaches. Boom, right off in the warm room, ammonia capsule. Did I get it? At this point, the audience knows it's coming. All right, so now third attempt, he comes out 800 something. Everyone's going fucking crazy. Gets it, man. He stands up, picks it up, puts it down, totally unconscious. Hand him to his coaches. The audience is cheering, and this dude is just drooling out of his mouth. They just like pull him in the back, pop the ammonia capsule. Did I get it? Every single time. You
always see guys like, I remember watching videos of guys that pulling so off the floor, their nose explodes.
Yeah.
blood just starts ripping down everywhere.
Absolutely, man.
I don't know. I find that pretty cool.
Listen, I miss it, dude. I really do.
It's like a hardcore. That's like the hardcore underground.
No, you're ready to die. You
Uplifting.
can say what you want about the West Side guys. They were ready to fucking die.
Yeah,
At that meet, we spotted a guy, Jason Coker. You ever hear of him?
Yeah.
So Jason, he's did some time. He's a real hardcore motherfucker.
I know exactly who. Yes.
Yeah. Shortest arms I've ever seen on a human being. He comes out, I think he benches like 9 or something on his second attempt. And his arms are so short that now I'm side spotting. We had 2 side spotters aside, and then they had the handoff guy that's giving it to him. We got to pick this thing up to get it all the way down to the bench is set up. Obviously, we have the little rings that we're adjusting it to. He had it no rings. It was all the way to the lowest possible setting. He could still barely get it out of the fucking rack.
Jesus.
So he goes to like 900, barely gets it. I'm looking at my buddy Ian. We're side spotting together. I'm like, no shot. This guy takes a third attempt. Puts 950 on the bar. He comes out, and I'm looking at everyone. There's no way he's going to get this. Vinny, I swear to God, takes it down. Boom.
I saw that.
I
saw that.
We pinned the bar against the rack.
Okay? It rolled onto his neck.
Yeah, we pinned the bar against it. Didn't hit his neck. It was about to hit his forehead.
I saw that.
We pinned it against the rack, okay? And now we got to get under it. We get under it, pick it out, put it up back in. In the time, I should say this too, we're setting up the rack for him. He is hawking loogies at the bar in a full-on psychotic rage. But when it was turned off, I'll never forget it. He was one of the only lifters that day that came over, and we saved a lot of lives. I'd be fucking dead if it wasn't for you.
You know who I used to
Thank you
love
for
to
saving
watch?
my
You know
life.
what I liked? What drew me to watch more was Chuck Vogelpohl.
Chuck V, baby. Yeah.
He was fucking, he was big, and he wasn't that heavy. And he was aggressive. He was awesome. He used to headbutt the bar and fucking, dude, he used to do crazy numbers. And actually, the thing about him, he was in shape too. That's why I started I'm like, this guy's jacked like a bodybuilder and could fucking lift.
Chuck V.
Kind of like a Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Yes.
Just like that.
Chuck was known for his work capacity. He would do more volume than most power lifters. But I remember
genetic who can handle that.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what it is.
And Donnie, I remember telling me that Chuck always left his best shit in the gym, though. He squatted.
He left his best in the gym and didn't compete.
Yeah, he was one of the better squatters, maybe of all time. But he squatted something like 800 pounds of bar weight and like 700 pounds of band tension in the gym. So
that's crazy.
1,500 pounds. I don't give a fuck if it's equipped
box
raw.
squat.
No, that was a competition. Like we're getting
really.
But he would just go too hard. He had sometimes you get guys that have so much nerves, they're so intense.
That happens
can't
even
not
in fighting.
train,
They're heroes in the gym, and then under the lights, it's the same exact shit.
Yeah.
When the people there, you're not as relaxed. You don't perform.
Chuck
as well.
would either
That's a natural thing. It's human.
He would either hit a world record or the bar would roll over his fucking head, and you got to save his life.
Yeah.
That's how. I never spotted him, but that's what everyone told me, and I watched the videos.
So we were speaking before when we were just having a little warm-up discussion. We have a mutual friend of powerlifter, Matt Sommer, right? And this is when I know human beings could just be this strong. Was fucking crazy that I saw this in person. So my gym used to be in the garage, like I was saying, and the garage gym door was open one summer, and we were squatting, and it was decent weight. There was 405 on the bar for a normal person. That's heavy.
Yeah.
And Matt walks up. He's wearing jeans, and t-shirt after work, and just in conversation, I remember how it came up about what do you work out with or whatever. And he goes, I don't start feeling until 600s. I said, get the fuck out of here. Go get under that and squat it right now. He got under it like it was literally a 25. I swear, bro. Looked at me like I was fucking dumb. Sat on his feet and stood up like effortless. I went, holy fuck, bro. That's insane.
Yeah.
Rarely you ever see today guys put even 405 on a bar.
Yeah, it's
Ever.
true. Yeah.
It was I used to go in between, after when I was real young, that super meathead gym. I used to go to this gym. It was Dolphin on Hempstead Turnpike.
I know it. Yeah.
Underground. There was guys and everybody did 315 on the bar. If you can't squat 315, it was like girls did 225 for reps. Yeah. Me and my boys that I worked out with, why I was so strong at the time, I used to bounce when I was a kid, and I was the smallest guy of the 3 guys that worked with us. Dude, Freddie Shopman, he was like 330. Justin, who was my height, was like 260, and I was about 225, 230. They all pushed bigger weight than me. I had to keep up. Freddie used to squat 6 and 745. No one was in the gym, just us. 745s. Justin would do a consistent 5 and 6, and I would do 4s. I was the weakest one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, I was trying to keep up. I was like, oh man, I'm the weakest one. And I would do 4 plates for 10 to 15 reps, reps.
Yeah.
Today, people be like, holy fuck,
You'd stop
bro.
the gym. People would stare at
Yeah.
you like you were a fucking mutant. But people like Matt, my buddy Dom Minichi, who is like, he's probably retired from lifting now. We still stay in touch. It's the same thing. I mean, Dom was actually recruited by the Red Sox. He had a shoulder injury, decided he was just going to be a working man, you know, and we just took up powerlifting as a hobby. That was probably the first time I realized people are just built different. Just met him. He just came in. "Oh, I haven't lifted in a couple of years. Same thing, 650. Like it's nothing.
Some people also just genetically meant to bench press. So I worked when I was in local 3 guys who I was friendly with, and they weren't that big. They were like my size, and they could probably do everything the same as me, like, you know, deadlift, but like, yo, they could bench like motherfuckers.
Yeah, I had a training partner like that too.
I told
yeah.
him, I go, dude, how do you bench 405? I couldn't even budge that off my chest.
Yeah.
Forget it. I was never a very good presser. Overhead
Yeah.
press, like I was saying, yes, but flat, I just wasn't. It was uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
I have slightly longer arms for a shorter person, but just I have small joints and whatever it may be,
Of
right?
course, yeah, absolutely.
But some people just genetically meant to bench. You ever see that kid? I saw him on Instagram, came across my feed, and then I looked at the gym back. I go, is that fucking, I forgot the gym was on, it's on Old Country Road, and then the kid's from Long Island, from Hicksville, this kid, Joe Tombarello.
No.
Dude, I can't, that's not his name isn't his handle. The motherfucker raw benches, dude, I think it's 745.
I believe it. Yeah,
Benches
benches have gotten out of control.
The weight
yeah.
ratio to what he puts up, it's got to be one of the strongest in the world.
Yeah.
He benches aggressive. He puts a mouthpiece in. He wears the fucking Larry wheels,
Yeah.
you know, fucking elbow wraps, dude. And he benches. I'm like, dude, he does it for the Instagram, though. He'll put it's either 6 or 745, something crazy, and does strip sets. His boys are pulling off plates.
Yeah.
He takes like literally 315 and could throw it up and catch it.
Yeah, I believe it. Like he's probably
But he's
doing like
not
clap
that
reps.
big. He's
Yeah.
big. He's
Yeah.
not that big.
Yeah.
Whenever you see guys, there's a guy who was throwing up, I think 315 catching, but he weighed 340.
Yeah.
This kid's 240. I was like, holy fuck, bro. And he's from here, Long Island.
There's
So it's pretty cool.
it's just like punching power. You said you were a boxing fan before. You can either punch hard or you can't. Period. You could learn to punch harder, right?
But some people just
I'm never going to hit as
power.
hard as George Foreman in his prime.
Right.
It's not a thing. You know, he just had it, right?
Just generate power.
I had a training partner who would take pride in how much he could bench with no warm up. That was his thing. He would come in on an off night and because he always felt like if someone asked you what you could bench, these guys, how crazy people are, you should be able to do it at any point in time. So he was like always trying to get his no warm up bench higher. For him, it was 455. I could lay on a bench in jeans and a t-shirt with no leg drive. Pause it for 3 seconds, put it up, and be like, "Fuck you, I'm
That's crazy. Do you
stronger
remember
than you."
back in the day, most like meathead gyms, I remember they had 315 contests.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, no way.
I think Bev's in North Shore because that's like a real old.
The last one, yeah.
Yeah, they have 315 contests,
Yeah.
right? But even the gym that I used to go around here, which is, you know, it's like the local pretty gym, and it's cool. They have the fucking Instagrammy girls and the guys or whatever. They don't have that shit no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I remember I've told this story before. This guy Tommy Steinbeck, right? I'm friendly with guys he works with, and he was he was huge back in the day, like 6 and change, jacked and ripped. He bounced everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and at 315 contest, he'd come and put another plate on, and just out rep everyone, just to be there and walk out. He'd take 405 and just start going.
Some people are just
and
built
out-rep
that
him
way,
and
man.
put it back and
Yeah.
be like, "Tell me how the rest of the competition goes."
That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy. That doesn't exist anymore at all.
So, a question for you, Vin. How old were you when you decided to tone down the gear?
It's funny, we toned down the gear.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what it was. I was big and bloaty power bodybuilder, and then when I was in my mid-20s, I went on a trip with my boys, and then from there, I got shredded and never went back.
Okay.
Right, but there, I was always. This is what it was. My early years when I first started down, but I was always very concerned with the hair loss. So I never really went above like
Okay.
250 to 500.
Okay.
When I crossed, like I was saying, yielding results to negative side effects. When I went to 700, my hair started flying out. I'm like,
Really?
that's the number. I probably
Okay.
would have lost it anyway, whatever. I look better bald. Fucking my hair looked like fucking ass hair growing off the top of my head, right? So fucking, you know. So it's a blessing that I lost it. But then I started to realize, but I never really dabbled that much. And then when I went to 1,000 for a while, right? That's when like I just didn't care. I was big. I did that for a couple of years. But then after that, when I got into the shred mode, I wouldn't go above 400 tests, but it took like 2 or 3 hardening compounds with some
Okay.
growth.
Okay.
But like moderate dose.
Okay.
I'd never really be, but it was if you combined all the milligrams, it was probably let's see, over a gram. Definitely with some growth hormone. I ran growth for years too, long time with that.
I never used it while I was powerlifting. Back then, it was too expensive.
Growth hormone.
Yeah.
So it's good for body composition and recovery. That's the reason why I did it. But there's also that my body, it definitely enhanced the growth of my muscles as well through hyperplasia.
Okay.
Not so much protein sensitive, but it definitely, once I started to put the growth in, I noticed my muscles got bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've used it at like let's say replacement doses, like relatively recently, 3 or 4 years ago when I was already out of the powerlifting game. Never went above like 4 IUs. And I've used...
That's enough.
Yeah. And I've used peptides. Like I find like, some people don't like it, but ibutamorin for me at 25 milligrams, and I've gotten blood work done on it. It hits about the same as 2 or 3 IUs for a fraction of the price. And I don't have the blood sugar issues with it. Like some people do, and I don't get the hunger. Some of the ghrelin agonists or whatever, they make you insanely hungry. I don't have that problem.
When I tried GHRP6 the first time, one, I always was able to eat, and I'll get to the diet what I used to eat to get big. What I used to eat, like talk about oil on pizza. I'll tell you what I used to eat. But when I first tried the peptides, right, I did, what was it, GHRP6 combined with, what was it? Anyway, I can't remember. Dude, it made me so fucking hungry. I could eat Thanksgiving dinner 3 times back to back. It was annoying.
Yeah.
So if anything, if you think about this, right? People use peptides to release growth hormone mostly for body composition. Now, what you're doing, you're enhancing your hunger to an insatiable fucking state.
Yeah.
You're going to eat 3 times the calories as before against your will. I remember I was like, yo, this is better for bulking, if anything. The reason why I stopped was that, and I'm very, very prolactin sensitive.
Okay.
Very prolactin sensitive. Like the smallest amount of effect. And I'm not going to start taking fucking Cabergoline. These are all...
It makes it worse in my
wormhole
opinion.
Medications here. But that's the reason why I also stopped. Growth, I didn't really initiate too much prolactin on me. That's why I took it for so long. But I got the benefits of it. Everybody bodybuilder. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. That's the story I was thinking of. So when growth hormone, right? I was a kid. My older brother's 7 years older than me. Those were the days of like the ripped fucking champion sweatshirts around the neck, and it was cool being jacked.
Yeah.
Like the fucking 80s after school special, the one with Ben Affleck when he first beat up
beating up his
fucking
mother.
guys. The steroid one. You got to watch that one. If anybody doesn't, they got to watch that. That was my brother's era. Like they knew when the anadrols were working, when your nose would bleed and your balls would hurt. That's how fucking crazy it was, right? But what the fuck was I saying about, the growth. So one of my older brother's friends got growth and was from Russia, right? And fucking, we didn't know how to read it, right? And he's taking it, dude, that growth that they took, bro, whatever they take, they synthetic, dude, they turned into fucking mutants. So
it was probably from a cadaver.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to bring.
Cadaver.
So growth hormone originally, if people do not know this, is from cadavers. The growth hormone today, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So he knows his shit too. Is that the synthetic growth hormone today is a DNA chain of E. coli bacteria or male mouse DNA.
That's right.
Correct?
That's correct.
Boom, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know my shit, right? But anyway, so that's a synthetic. But the cadaver one, back in the day, which one is extremely dangerous. So he had someone break it down and read it, right? We were fucking young, bro. I was a kid. He was in his mid-20s. He goes, dude, this shit's from dead bodies. But that one that was derived from dead bodies, cadavers, was insanely strong. Now, why is it dangerous? It could lead to human Crutchfeld's disease, right?
No shit.
Yes. Boom, I know something more than him, right? Human mad cow. All right, so I watch special. Sometimes things just...
That makes perfect sense, though.
Right, human mad cow disease, because there was a bacteria underlying it. They didn't have the testing back then. And what it was years ago, the first growth hormone was called Grorum, was the actual, just say, Sarostin name. It was cadaver growth hormone. They didn't know how to synthetically make it. And there was dwarfs that grew to somewhat of a normal stature, and then all of a sudden they got sick and died in like 2 days. Then they linked it to this. It was a human form of mad cow. Anybody who has fucking cadaver growth hormone, don't take it. It's no good, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. But it makes sense. I mean, it's a weird form of cannibalism, I suppose, right? And that's it's kind of a check on that type of behavior within your species. You know, that's unbelievable. I mean, I only ever used the synthetic stuff. It never really seemed like it was worth it for me from a bang for your buck thing. The MK677 I actually did like and will still use from time to time, but you got to be careful with your blood sugar. But I don't get the hunger from it for whatever reason. I notice my hair grows faster, my skin looks better.
Dude, I was clipping my nails 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's totally true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Now, for those who take growth hormone, if it's growing, it works on everything but your dick, all right? So don't hope for that. Grows your nail, and you think about what it does to your organs. That's why guys have distended bellies and the fucking abuse of it, et cetera, and with the insulin. No, I never ever tried insulin. That's more of a cosmetic.
I got an insulin story for you. If you
know,
want to hear
so I do have an insulin story too. So when back in my meathead days, when I used to bounce with these guys, different guys, they got the idea of shooting insulin. But the insulin that you could get over the counter is Humulin R. That is the wrong insulin to take, all right?
Say that, yeah.
Because if people, I'm going to give an educational tutorial too on you fucking meatheads. The only one you're supposed to be taking is Humalog because it hits instantly and it's out. That's the way you want it. You do not want the motherfucking insulin to hit now when you're driving down the Belt Parkway where you can fucking pass out unless you have a fucking jar of orange juice next to you or Starburst to smash down your face. So that's what these guys used to do. They used to fucking bounce and have a thing of Starburst with them because all of a sudden they start sweating. They're like this with Starburst to level out the blood sugar. I'm like, now thinking about it, I'm like, it's fucking crazy.
We may be talking about the same person. Well, we'll discuss this off air. I had a training partner. One day we're talking about drugs that we would never take. So we covered DMP. I'm like, I'm never taking that shit. And most of us are like, insulin, no way. This dude, 20 plus inch forearms, goes, yeah, I fucking took it. Same thing. He would just go to CVS and say, I'm a diabetic. They give him they give him the medium acting one, whatever. And we would train late at night. So we're out of the gym at 10 o'clock. So I'm like, you're banging this shit and going to bed? He goes, what I do is whenever I feel sleepy, I drink a Coca-Cola. I'm like, you out of your fucking mind, dude. Like, what are you thinking,
Do you know what's crazy? Like, you're pretty knowledgeable. Just not even really knowing you, just the conversation we're having, you're pretty knowledgeable about the drugs. Do you know how many guys I know that have been doing gear fucking and still do gear, like, and I'm pretty much done with the shit that still continues, but they don't even know what they're doing. When I say lipid profile, they're like, fucking, I go, bro, what?
Yeah.
How at a certain point, like after reading or knowing, like, how do you not want to know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I just don't understand.
Some people don't give a fuck. They're still working. Their body still works. They think they still look good.
People
whatever.
Understand? Like, yeah, these are hormones are very powerful drugs, right? And they do have motherfucking side effects. When you're young, you don't think about it. And then when you get a little older and you read a little more, you're like, I shot a lot of this shit in my body. Maybe I should fucking learn a little bit more. Me, I became engrossed in it. And you're pretty knowledgeable and you know your shit too. From just speaking with some guys right off the fucking first 30 seconds, I'm like, how the fuck do you not know this, bro? I say basic shit. It astounds me.
Do you remember, to your point, about how much genetics matters and how little some people know? Years ago, so you would have been like probably in your prime or early age of lifting. I was like 12. Tom Platz did these sit-down interviews with top-level pros. They blurred everyone's face out except Lee Priest, who didn't give a fuck, all right? And they're going over their cycles. These guys didn't even, they were like, Tom is like, how much, test do you take? Like, 2 cc's. But of what? Whatever I can get, 2 cc's. How much DECA do you take? Off season, 2 cc's test, 3 cc's test. And, they didn't even know numbers. They're just so fucking talented.
These are like the Lee Priest decade guys.
Dude, the identities of these guys were confirmed. It was Ronnie Coleman, Chris Cormier, Lee Priest for sure, because you saw him on there. And then, who was that other guy that was like freakishly vascular?
Andreas Munzer?
No. It was a black dude. Paul.
He died.
Munzer.
Paul Dillette?
Yes, Paul Dillette. And it was like, you're listening to these cycles and you're just like, these dudes, they didn't even know what the fuck they were taking, but they're just so talented. Obviously, they train hard as shit. Incredible genetics, good discipline. And back then, it was more about what you could get. Nowadays, unfortunately, we were saying before about underground, we don't know if what we're taking is the real shit, but at least ostensibly you think you're picking from a smorgasbord of drugs. Back then it was whatever the guy you knew could get. So to their credit, it was like, I'm getting ready for show. Can I even get tren? It was a different mentality.
I also think that the lack of knowledge back then with those bodybuilders, right? And I'm going to bring up somebody like, and why I thought of this is like Mike Matarazzo.
All right, yeah.
All right. He was a huge bodybuilder. And I remember, reading he would eat like 5 pounds of red meat a day, and who knows how much test he would take. His cholesterol, his HDLs were probably 2. That's just a fucking recipe for disaster. But social media is such an educational platform, unless you're the person who's fucking 90% of their thing is all fucking ass and tits, right? But you could use it as an education platform. That's why I think it's such it's so much of an easier way, or the capability to educate yourself on these subjects now, what I'm speaking about, because it's just so out there. Back then, you had to fucking like pick up a fucking book and read it.
No.
There wasn't social media.
No.
I don't even know if there was fucking internet back then.
You had, oh my God, what was his name that had the book on anabolics?
Yes.
Dan Duquesne?
Dan Duquesne.
Yeah, it would be one of them. Yeah.
Back. Dan
yeah.
Duquesne.
Yeah, so
Smart guy.
that was kind of like, that
Best,
was the dude.
But not to cut your best pre-workout fucking ever, Ultimate Orange.
Oh, and Bill Roberts. Those were your two guys back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, Dan Duquesne and Bill Roberts.
Wish
like
I had the book and busted out.
You had to kind of read their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you really wanted to figure it out. But I think one thing you're going to see in the fitness industry now, and you're already seeing it. People don't want to talk about this, but guys are dropping dead because. So one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time is Dorian Yates. I like Dorian because he had an unconventional approach to training. In some respects, if I was going to bodybuild, I would actually probably follow a more high-intensity split.
That's the way I trained.
Because I really saw good results with that as opposed to body part splits when I was trying to put on size. But also, he was very intellectual in terms of his understanding of diet and everything else. And I remember seeing an interview with Dorian. I actually met him in Brazil. The Arnold Classic in Brazil. I was the only dude there that spoke fluent English, and I was online, and he just was talking my ear off. Like, thank God there's another dude that I can actually talk to. But he said it online. He said it to me when I met him. Nowadays, these guys are staying as shredded as I was for 4 weeks a year, all year.
Can't do that.
And, and on top of that, you're expected to do these freak show fucking lifts. So, Dorian would say, I'm at my absolute weakest. You don't want to videotape me working out 4 weeks out of a contest.
Dude, you have no strength. You have nothing in you.
You're dying, okay? Nowadays, guys are trying to bench 500 with single-digit body fat. I can't imagine the drugs, and I don't just mean roids, stimulants, things to crush appetite that you're taking because if you don't look that good all year round, it's like, well, I don't get a paycheck. And I think that's going to be a real kind of death plague that we're going to see.
Didn't happen yet. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit now.
There are some people that have died.
Recently, there's a lot of bodybuilders dying.
I don't want to name names. We'll talk maybe off air, but you're going to start seeing a lot of these influencers drop dead because they're just
the forced to stay in shape.
They're staying almost pre-contest ready, 365 days a year. It's just a recipe for disaster, Vinny.
I know we're talking about side effects and what people don't know is that renal failure and kidney damage from
Trend will do that to you.
From steroids. Trend, the drug itself, but educating and reading and learning now, like I said, from social media, and it's so easy now. And then you read further into that wormhole when you read a little something or hear something on social media, is that kidney failure and renal failure is not only from certain drugs. What it is also blood pressure elevated for a prolonged period of time. I'm explain something to people that if you think about it, and I like to break things down in layman terms and simplify things. So your vessels are like a gas line, a pipeline. And just say the pressure going through is heavy. What is your kidney? It's a fucking filter. The pressure smashing that filter consistently, the filter's going to what? Break. It's not just has to do with the drug. That's why it's so important to keep your blood pressure down. The arteries start to harden. People don't realize that. Also, I know someone's on dialysis. He did fucking 300 fucking amateur shows, whatever, but he has kidney failure and he has on dialysis. And it's not from, probably yes, the trend and all this shit, but it was the up and down with the weight, the up and down,
diuretics
the loss, the diuretics, the loss of the weight, sucking out water. That wreaks havoc and stresses the shit out of your liver. So I tell these younger guys, and I did one show and I was like, I'm never doing that shit again. Dieted down to stand on stage and shit. I found that way more gratifying, and I love fucking getting shredded. It's never not cool to be shredded, but I'd go to fucking pool parties and shit with my boys and be ripped. I'm like, I fucking feel way better doing this than stand there in my underwear and having some fucking dudes judge me. You know what I'm saying? That was way more gratifying.
That was, I think, the thing too, why I never wanted to get into bodybuilding. I don't have the build for it. I'm like too tall also. Like at 6'2", it's not the ideal height for a heavyweight bodybuilder is probably between 5'7", 5'10".
Like me.
Yeah. I was just too tall. I wouldn't have filled out enough, but it was the same thing. I knew what it would take to get that shredded, and I just don't want to be that fucking miserable. Especially if I'm not getting paid. You pay me enough money, I'll do something. But no way.
My friend Mikey Beach Muscles, he's banned off Instagram now. But I'm going to have him on here one day whenever fucking I make it. But he's a big human. He's 6'6", almost 6'7", proportionately big, 280, and shredded, and looks good. He just has like a little bit longer legs. But now this, I always look great. And we would go to pool parties in Vegas. I go, yo, could you fucking stand over there, motherfucker? Because he's got the whole look. He's huge. He's tatted. He's ripped. He's good looking. I go, get the fuck away from me.
He's killing you.
And when you're that big, though, and you look like that, it's imposing and it looks fucking dope. Like, he looks like he has to duck under the doorway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's also, people are like, he's actually like over the top. He's a professional arm wrestler. That's why we'd be in Vegas. You get flown out there. And he, you know, like arm wrestling, fucking was like one of the best in the world.
Just dude drinking motor oil and fucking over the top before he goes out there.
You got to redo that movie.
That's
a fucking great movie.
I knew a guy, unfortunately he passed away, Mike Jenkins. So Mike, I drove Mike around Long Island one time. He won the Arnold Classic in Strongman. 6'8", 410. Never seen...
6'8", 410 pounds.
I wish I have a picture with him. In the picture, I am 6'2", 245 pounds. I look like a fucking toddler. Like he's like shaking my hand. And he's not that lean, so you don't even get an appreciation for how big he is. It's like seeing a Clydesdale. You see a Clydesdale on the Budweiser commercial, you're like, oh, that's really big. When you see it in person, you're like, holy fucking shit, look at that animal. Fortunately, Mike passed away in his sleep in his early 30s. He was training for his next show, and just too fucking big. 410. I mean, dude, what are we even talking about here?
What was his name? Mike
Jenkins.
Mike Jenkins.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's funny. There's another Long Island guy, Travis.
well, he wasn't a Long Island guy, so he was.
He wasn't.
He was. I know he played football at Virginia. I want to say he was, I think, like a left tackle or maybe a guard. Got into strongman, and the Arnold for the longest time. A lot of people don't know this, was actually the heavier show. So they kind of had the world's strongest man set up for Marius to win. He was their golden boy. Like they had
Marius
lighter.
Pudzianowski.
They had lighter events, more speed and more conditioning.
That's exactly what it was.
Where the Arnold went in a different direction, it was just like the heaviest shit possible. So while Marius is winning the world's strongest man, Big Z, Zydrunas Savlikis, and other guys similar size were winning the Arnold. Once Marius retired, they made worlds heavier and they kind of merged. But I remember seeing Mike. He came and did a seminar at my old job, and he was teaching strongman and like stuff. I saw that dude do an 800-pound yoke run.
Jesus
like there was,
Christ,
but dude, he was sprinting with it.
That's like
no belt. Bro. He was like, oh yeah, boom, and he just ran 40 yards with this fucking thing. And we're looking at each other. We're like, I could do all the gear in the world. I'm never. That's a different type of human being right there. That's why we invented guns. That guy.
Yeah, right.
That guy comes to
that's just
house.
a problem.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So Matt was saying something. I remember bringing back Matt Somer, a powerlifting friend, that he used this suit to prep for a raw lift because it would spring him.
Yes. There's some logic to that.
You know, you guys could teach me a lot about powerlifting, and I find it very intriguing. So I was like, really? I asked his opinion on lifting, whatever. He's only a raw lifter. And he goes, but I would use a suit on to overload my body.
Yes.
I go, interesting. Think about it, because you get used to the 1,000 pounds on your shoulders.
Yeah. We would do something similar. So Donnie Thompson was always on me to use a suit. And maybe he was right. He was like, Eric, long term, you need compression on your joints, or else they're just going to fucking fall apart.
Yeah.
I got out of the sport before I really started to fall apart, but I definitely have aches and pains from it big time, especially in my knees, no question. But we would do the overloading mentality, but instead of wearing a suit, which I was worried would change my technique too much, we would do reverse band squats. So maybe you'd set up like, we always fucked with the band tension a little bit. I see you got like the elite, the black bands. So those are like the strong bands. We would sometimes those from the top of the rack, bring it around, and that might add 250 pounds to your squat. You know, so you would go, if you were going to squat 6, if you could stand up with it, you could probably do 850 or 800. And for sure, I found that had some benefit in terms of CNS preparation, because when I got 600 out of the rack at the meet, it felt like there was nothing on my back. But one area where the gear might be superior is, for me, I always missed forward in the squat, right? If I was going to miss catastrophically, the thing was rolling over my head because I was so hunched over at the bottom. The bands keep the bar locked in a much more linear pattern. So I always found that when I squatted either against bands or with reverse bands, so either bands from the bottom of the rack choked around or bands from the top of the rack choked around, the numbers didn't carry over because they kept me locked in an up and down position and I never missed forward. So for maybe Matt would be correct. If I used a suit, I probably would have gotten a little more out of that method. But the goal for us was just, hey, get used to some more weight, overload that CNS, and then, you know
what people don't also realize, bands are just always used for powerlifting, what they used to. And people don't really know how to utilize bands.
No.
I found when I saw that being used, I was like, I found this so intriguing. But then I started fucking with it for like bodybuilding. I go, dude, this could be a tool also to build muscle.
John Meadows was big on that.
Because of the tension that it gives you on a press or whatever. Maybe you pull the way it exaggerates the pull and how you contract against it.
John Meadows would do it on the chest press machine.
Dude,
it's unbelievable the tension you get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they could be used for muscle building as well. People always correlate bands to powerlifting, whatever, but they could be used in both. People sleep on the bands. They don't know about them. They're a really good tool that they could use.
They make you so fucking sore.
Know what I was going to ask you before about, you and I have a fast metabolism. You do too as well. What was your diet like when you tried to get big? I'll tell you what I ate, and you'd be like, holy fuck, bro. That's why, because if I didn't eat like that, I would not keep that
5,000 to 5,500 calories a day. You're talking about Matarazzo. I would eat probably about 3 pounds of beef a day minimum. Beef made me strong as shit. That's some real bro science for you there. But in terms, just so much calories, much more calorie dense than eating chicken. I was never doing long-term cuts because I have a fast metabolism. I was never really more than 15% body fat leading up to a powerlifting competition, which is kind of a sweet spot. I think 12 to 15 is really where you want to be. Anything less than that, your waist gets too small. It's not really good for what you want to accomplish. But I would say about 5,500 calories. Most of my meals were beef, white rice with oil poured on them. Now, what I would do, this is, some guys are really split on this. Some dudes hate protein shakes. I was big on like Vitargo with protein.
Vitargo, wow.
Yeah, like
going back.
Because it digested so quickly. And I found as I got bigger and bigger, I was going to these we max out every Monday, right? West Side Barbell Variation.
GCL.
And you'd come in and it's like, I'm so fucking bloated that it feels like I'm gonna vomit. So what I started doing was I would have a little bit more liquid calories in that interim. I'd have like 2 scoops of Vitargo with 2 scoops of whey on the way to the gym, but I'd have another one that I would sip during the workout. And then we'd go eat probably hour and a half after we were done training. And that was when I really had it the most dialed in. And when I tracked everything at that time, probably about 5,500 calories.
Shit. See, I was been we didn't track anything.
Yeah, because it got to the point, dude, where I was struggling so much to gain weight that I was like, I got to figure out what the fuck. I'm never going to get better at this. And it's probably about 275, 280 grams of protein. I never responded to, like, you hear about guys having 400 grams a day. That wasn't for me. I needed, ideally, in a different world, moderate fat, high carb, moderate protein. That's how I respond best. I go through glycogen like you would not fucking believe. So I need carbs constantly to be at my best. That was how I ate pretty much. And I understand the idea of guys having, protein and fat meals when they're not around the training window and protein and carb meals. But for me, it was like, here's my macros. I'm going to have 6 meals today. We're going to have about the same for each meal just to make it as easy as possible.
Now, if you're going to ask me if you want to be as big or strong as possible or put on muscle and get lean, 2 totally different animals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So when I was so locked in and my only goal was to get big, and that's when you're just fucking tunnel vision, dude, I couldn't even calculate the calories. So I'll give you a day what I used to do. I used to do definitely probably like 6 or 8 whole eggs, like 4 English muffins, a peanut butter jelly, right? I'd always eat peanut butter jellies and like a glass of milk. Protein shake in between. Lunch would always be at least a pound of 85 fat ground beef on buns, right?
Yeah.
Depends the day. Maybe I have a canned beans with it, but if I go to diner, I have 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and pancakes and a milkshake.
Yep.
All the time. Then I'd have another protein shake. Then I'd probably have some chicken breast to fucking make me feel better with a ton of white rice. Then I'd eat like fucking chicken cutlets again, and then another shake. Dude, my whole goal was to get bigger. But the point of what I'm saying is kids want to get bigger and put on size. You have to eat motherfucking food and a lot of it to put on size.
When I was in my early 20s, I worked at GNC. Right.
So did I.
And, there we go. No shit. Okay, so I worked at GNC. And I actually had some ethics because back then there was a lot of commission and everything. Yeah. I didn't really feel good about taking some young guy's money, but at least giving him advice. And I can't tell you, dude, it drove me fucking crazy. These skinny guys would come in and be like, I eat so much, I don't gain weight. Motherfucker, you don't eat a lot. Just because you can pack down a pie of pizza once a week, if you are not dreading your next meal, you're not eating enough. Especially when you've gotten to a certain point. And I would say, and I've said this to our friend off camera over here before, the psychological effects of gear burned me out. But truthfully, the food was the number one thing I was happy to let go. Because When I was starting to date my wife, and it's like everywhere we go, I got to bring a fucking cooler. You know, it becomes a chain. Like you're still used to being the big guy, and it's like, all right, well, I got to bring my cooler. Hey, babe, I want to go to the beach today. Fuck. All right, I got.
My wife said to me, she goes, when we first started this, she's like, and I was huge, and dude, I looked like fucking Odd Job from those jeans on. I can't believe she dated me. Then I was like, I look like Mario Lopez and Odd Job, of course, but worse. I was like, how the fuck this girl date me anyway? She was like, how the fuck are we gonna afford to live? I don't remember how much I used to eat. Oh. So I remember, this is what I do remember. The girl at the food store called me Chicken Boy. I would every other day buy a family-sized package of chicken. It was cheap. I'd buy a lot of it. But I'd go through all of it in like a day and a half and then buy another one. And I'd use a George Foreman grill, eat it with fucking, choke it down with white rice. And then I'd eat shit after, and then a whole hero with bag of chips.
Yeah, when I was in the chicken phase, I always had
I can't eat chicken anymore.
A bag of chicken marinating in balsamic vinaigrette in the fridge, ready to go on the grill, be it George Foreman or Weber, you know? But that's really what burned me out the most was the food. Honestly, it was feeling full all the time, eating when you're feeling full. And that's when you talk about high-level bodybuilders, guys like Jay Cutler that were very disciplined and they got it done over a very long period of time. That's really what I respect the most is just they had this ability to stay focused, to understand how to do the little things correctly. That was the hardest part. What I would probably change if I could do it again, I would probably bench a little bit. I wouldn't max out West Side Style. I think I needed more volume because bodybuilders are usually better at benching than powerlifters in terms of like walking off the street. They just have much more upper body size. But I also would have had way more high glycemic carbohydrates. Now, that would have been bad for my health, but that wasn't the game back then. I was still eating a ton of brown rice. Dude, you're just full all fucking day. You can't do it.
See, it never bothered me.
You're a freak, dude. I couldn't do it.
I could eat all the time. Even like, I can't do it now, right? But I remember I would, and definitely every time I went to Chipotle, get 2 or 3 burritos. Yeah. One would go down like a fucking rice cake. Boom. Yeah. Right? The second one, most of the time, I was like, all right, now I'm full. And then a lot of times I'd finish my wife's, but then I'd get a third one and I'd be like, oh, I got too much because I'm going to finish my wife's. And then I can't eat my whole third one. Dude, I eat one now. I'm like, I can't even believe. You know, your stomach shrinks. I'm only 180 something pounds now. Yeah. You know, but think about it. I'm not a big guy. So fucking 50 more pounds on me was a lot,
yes, of course. Yeah.
I look at old pictures, dude, and I'm like, holy shit, bro. The amount of food I ate to fucking do that.
Dude, think if you had that money back.
For all the money I spent on food.
Yeah.
Right?
You probably have another house.
But I didn't care about anything but getting big. So I was like, I got to eat to get jacked and buy my sustenance.
Yeah.
I got to eat to get jacked to buy my, that's it.
I used to leave a neck harness next to my bed with 100 pounds on it. And I would not go to bed at night till I did 100 reps of neck extension. Just sitting there like a retard, just, you know, throwing my neck back over and over again. To the point of where I definitely was not diagnosed, but I was not sleeping very well. I was never a snorer, and I was waking up just all the time.
You never snored?
Not until that. I'm saying as a young man, before I got really big. And then when I was really big, then people would tell me I was snoring. I would wake up feeling like shit all the time.
You weren't resting.
And I remember Donnie Thompson telling me, bro, you have sleep apnea. Yeah, and me and Donnie one time, he got inducted into like some barbell hall of fame in Connecticut. So I drove him there. And then there was huge traffic on 95 coming back. So he's like, Eric, just sleep with me. So me and Donnie, he weighs 400 pounds. We share a bed together. It was the most comical experience ever. I weighed 260. I don't know how this thing didn't break, right? So yeah, it was ridiculous. We put like a wall of pillows between us. Like, this is so gay, but you know, as long as
definitely skin touching.
As long as we don't touch each other purposely, it's not gay. And you know, 2 dudes in their underwear, it's so fucking bloated. That's the biggest bench ever in one bed right there. Me and Donnie. Crazy. Certainly the biggest deadlift. And Donnie pulls out his CPAP. And I'm like, Donnie, what the fuck is that?
You didn't even
I didn't even know what it was. He's like, this is what you need. He's like, you snore like a fucking animal. He's like, there's no way you're recovering, dude. Like, you snore like an animal. You're 29. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm just getting old.
He told you that.
Yeah, because
you didn't even realize.
I was 29 years old. I'm thinking I'm getting old. I'm not recovering. Right? He's like, dude, you have not had a drop of REM sleep in 3 years.
You're always tired.
Yeah. And then to your point about kidney function, it's like, oh, what am I going to do? Give me another fucking red line.
Right. So you brought up Dan Duquesne back in the day. So I said, what reminded me was he had all these crazy books, Body Opus. He was the first one I actually learned about like carb cycling and pulling out carbs and manipulating with your insulin, whatever, right? But he made something called Ultimate Orange. There was real ephedra hydrochloride, not fucking Ma Wang bullshit. Real ephedrine synthetic ephedrine hydrochloride. Dimetadrine 25 was an oral drug, but he had this in his pre-workout, which was Ultimate Orange. That shit was the best.
Yeah.
One scoop of that, bro. You fucking forget about it. You go no sleep. Next day, that minute you're doing it, you're performing good.
Yeah. No,
You remember that?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I remember the original, and then it got pulled. With the first
original.
With the first
See, he's in the
ephedra ban.
crossover generation. You got a taste of what we used to have. And
then it got pulled. Then they had the next version, which sucked, and then no one used it. And
Exactly.
then they kind of re-legalized the ephedra, and then you could get it in speed stack drinks and shit, but it wasn't the same. The Ultimate Orange was the shit, and then afterwards people were just getting like the pharma pills from like you could get it, but it wasn't sold over the counter like the same way. And then from there, when I was working at GNC, then it went into like the geranium extract where you had the Oxy Elite Pro. That was the next stuff that people were taking, and it got you gacked out of your face, but more than anything, you just couldn't fucking eat. You know?
I remember it used to jacks up, but the science behind it doesn't it open up your bronchial tubes and
Yes.
take more oxygen.
Yes.
You could perform better. So, and technically, then, so this is the thing. It's almost like what clenbuterol would do, but not. Meaning, it opens up your bronchial tubes. You could intake more oxygen to your bloodstream, but it raises your heart rate.
Yes.
So then you're burning through your oxygen faster.
Yes.
So therefore, it wouldn't be good for endurance sports, but good for short bursts.
I think if you dosed it properly, I think a low dose of ephedrine
Like 5 milligrams,
could
not
probably
25.
even help with like a 5K or something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't use it in training too much. And ephedrine you develop, like I had a couple friends that would take it for strongman competitions, like to get down in weight. And remember, they would just come off of it and just have insane withdrawal symptoms. Because you're taking it with the caffeine and the aspirin.
Exactly.
The
The ECA stack was one of the best fat burning stacks I ever did.
Yeah, that shit worked, man. No question.
It was the best,
Yeah.
but the crashes
Yeah.
were nightmarish.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You just like my friend told me he competed in a strongman show in Kentucky. This is like in the early 2000s, and he was doing ECA stacks to get down to like $175, and he was a big boy.
Do you think these young kids even know what that is? ECA stacks?
No, it's a word. That's why I think people always tell me that I'm like, this guy thought that we were the same age because spiritually we are the same age.
Well, no, you're saying stuff from my day. They don't know.
I had
what
a lot of
ECA
mentors. I had a lot of good mentors
So
back
that's
in
where
the
you learned
day.
it from.
Yeah, like when I was a young kid, as a teenager, learning how to lift, there was a lot of meatheads.
You said good mentors. Halotestin and ECA stacks. Good mentors.
No. The Halotestin
Those
I
are
did
good
on my own.
mentors.
The Halotestin I did on my own. That was when I was already in my late 20s. But I had guys that were trying to compete when Dorian had just finished. Ronnie was just starting to get on top. That's when I was learning how to lift weights, like around that time. So that stuff is still really prevalent. And as a young high school kid, I didn't have like a job some summer, so I would just go fucking lift all day. And what a meatheads do.
Remember those days?
Yeah, it was great. I'd ride my bike to the gym,
No
which later on I was
business,
like,
just
I'm not
lift
doing
weights.
it. I'm not doing it because I'm burning too many calories. But yeah, and those guys would help me out, and they would show me what to take and what not to take, and I come in with the Arnold encyclopedia, and they're like, "That's way too much training volume.
Way
That's
too much.
fucking insane. What are you doing?" He probably doesn't even do that shit, and that's how I learned how to train. From those guys.
I remember those days. And I wouldn't train anything for anything. Don't get me wrong. I got businesses and family and all that shit, right? And sometimes I reflect. I'm like, I used to just fucking, when I used to bounce, I used to just get up, watch a movie, eat, then watch a movie, look at the fucking clock. Train, come back, eat again, then 2 times in between, bounce till 4 a.m, eat again with my boys after, 2 cheeseburgers, then go to bed.
Yeah.
Fucking probably snore my tits off.
Yeah.
Not even sleeping, and then fucking get up and eat again. I'm like, how simple.
My powerlifting crew, we called it the 7 p.m. crew. That's when the normies at the gym would go home and the mutants would come in and start lifting.
That's what we did.
And we would train 7 till 10 at night. Get food afterwards.
Those were good days.
Be up to 2 or 3 in the morning.
That was fun.
Here's the thing. Oh, no one told you. Oh, you're going to fucking take a squat variation. You're going to max out at 8:30 at night. You're not sleeping, right? So I always worked like middle of the day type jobs. Same thing. So go home, eat another meal, watch Rambo, whatever the fuck. And
recover.
Yeah. And then like pass out. Wake up the next day, do it again, and not know that there was anything else to life. And I agree. I would never trade my daughter, my marriage, my business for anything.
No.
But I do. It's a weird thing now, Vinny, because you sit down to train, and you're like, I got an hour to train.
Yeah,
Versus-
but that's the normal progression of having a business in life.
Versus, like,
if it was you and I were still watching Rambo and lifting, there's something fucking wrong.
Of course, we're too old for that shit.
But at least we did it.
Yes.
I appreciate the shit out of it.
Absolutely.
But you can reflect on days and goes, wow. And you thought like what was difficult then, you're like, just if I had a week of that.
Oh, it's vacation, dude.
That's
My life
if I
was a
could just
vacation.
lift
Yeah.
and eat cheeseburgers
Yeah.
for a week.
Yeah, no one
I'd be
bothers
like,
me. Just me and my boys being a
I'm gonna
bunch
go
of
to the gym.
retards.
I'm gonna watch 2 movies right now. Make sure I get my protein. Make sure I'm fucking rested.
Am I
That's why
watching-
it's probably also fucking big because I laid around.
Yeah, of course, dude.
90% of the time.
Your stress
and
was
fucking,
lower.
And just ate.
Yeah.
Not, over here, a good fucking strong body. I'm sure powerlifter is a lazy one who doesn't move a lot.
When I figured that out, my gains went through the roof.
Yes.
That was a big thing.
Kevin Lerone said, I'm watching a thing, and, being a professional body is just being a professional body. That's their whole job. But he goes, he would sleep 12 hours a day. I go, 12 hours? But you grow the most is when you sleep. That's why people also don't realize, how important sleep is. It's the best recovery tool. So everyone has all this thing about fucking sitting in a fucking room and shooting shit or whatever. The best recovery is sleeping. You know who said that? Khabib Nurmagomedov, the fight. He goes, dude, and they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. They don't have all that shit. You know what he goes? We sleep. It's the best recovery tool ever. You eat a good meal and sleep, you're 100% fresh.
Those are
Yes, the
random-
other shit could help.
Yeah.
But that's the best.
So here's a random anecdote for you, maybe a little out of our wheelhouse, but a friend of mine was talking to me about post-traumatic stress disorder and why it's common with soldiers now that have been in Iraq or Afghanistan versus, granted, how much literature do we have about the Greeks and the Romans and whatnot, but you don't hear about stuff like that from that era. His point was, in ancient warfare, you and I would grab a sword and a shield, and we would fucking kill each other, okay? And then we would go build a camp, and we wouldn't do shit for a month. Okay, that's the way war was fought back then. I'm gonna meet you somewhere on a battlefield. We're gonna line up. We're gonna beat the fucking shit out of each other. And then once it's not one side retreats. We don't necessarily go after them. Depending on the situation, you go in the camp, you sleep, you eat, you recover, you go do battle again. You see soldiers now,
No way.
they're always at a 7 out of 10. You're patrolling the streets in Afghanistan or Iraq. You are constantly worried about someone, throwing an IED at you, some guy coming out with an AK-47.
No sleep, you're broken
You're
down.
never at 10 and 0. You're at 7. And I think that's what really gets people too. You're right. Unconsciously, we found that we had to be at 0 or 10. For every 2 hours that I was at 10, I needed 8 hours at 0. And that's a huge difference. Like people that talk about pro athletes all being on steroids, which is to an extent is true. They've never understood though how much just training and have nothing else to worry about, how much more volume and work you can handle. Because you go do your 10 out of 10. I'm in the gym for 2 hours. We're fucking killing each other. We're going to come back and we're going to train 12 hours later. I'm not doing shit. I'm not running errands. I'm not trying to earn money. I probably don't have a wife or a girlfriend or a kid or whatever. Going from that 0, going from the 10 back down to the 0, that's really, in my opinion, that's where you get the most gains.
100%.
And that's how I, honestly, if I could live my life that way, that's what I would like to do. Like, give me 4 hours a day of insane, retarded, balls out work, and then let me get down to 0, as opposed to working 75%, 60%, for all day. That's what burns me out. And that's from when it gets to entrepreneurship, to be honest with you, that's what burns me out the most is people having access to your fucking cell phone, right? All day long.
Well,
hey, coach, can I come in? Like, I wish I didn't have that. I wish I could pay, some guy over there to answer the phones for me, and then no one gets to me. But there's some real truth to that, where you and I had discovered that unconsciously.
Well, it's a trade-off with everything in life,
Of course.
right? So if you want to thrive financially, or do you want to be the fucking strongest you could possibly be?
Yeah.
You can't have both. Unless you were
true.
born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
This is true, yeah.
So it's a trade-off. I did that already. It was good for that time period. Now I'm on to the next chapter. And so are you.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
And it's good to be there, though.
Oh, I appreciate the shit out of it,
Absolutely.
So listen, let's wrap this up. This was a sick podcast. We talked about a ton of great shit, and I would love to have you on again.
My pleasure,
Because I
Vinny.
feel like we could go on for another 2 hours.
I agree.
I hope all you motherfuckers enjoyed this, because I enjoyed this as much as he did, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
And I
Vinny.
hope you enjoy it too. Till next time.